for the three-fight introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to New York City's Madison Square Garden, where tonight, Spencer Promotions, main events, along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present the real World Heavyweight Championship. 12 rounds of boxing, sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman, former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson. First executive assistant, Tony Russo. Deputy commissioner in charge, Michael Pascal. Commissioners at ringside, Mel Southard and Rose Trentman. Our three physicians at ringside are Dr. Rufus Sadler, Dr. Bill Lathan, and Dr. Gerald Golota. The timekeeper at the bell is Jim Borzel. And the three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be George Colon, Luis Rivera, and Steve Weisfeld. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, your referee, Wayne Kelly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance here at Madison Square Garden and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red. He comes into the ring with a perfect professional record of 28 victories without a loss, and 25 of that victory total have been knockout victims. This native of Warsaw, Poland, now lives and fights out of the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the undefeated pride of Poland. Here is Andrew Golota. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with red letters. He's a 1988 Olympic silver medalist and returns tonight to his hometown. As a professional, he has captured 3 world heavyweight title belts with a record of 38 victories, only 1 defeat, and he has stopped 32 opponents by knockout. He is considered by most experts to be the best heavyweight in the division today. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the last man to hold the undisputed heavyweight crown from Brooklyn, New York, the People's Champion, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
All right, Andrew. Riddick, we're boxing under the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Shake hands, come out boxing at the bell. Good luck, 12 rounds.
Jim, when I asked Golota whether he thought he could take Riddick Bowe's punch, he said sweetly and succinctly, I have to. Let's see if he can, because that's going to tell us what kind of fight we have.
Well, he's never been down in his professional career. He was stopped only once in his amateur career, and that was on a cut at the Olympics. You see those tattoos on Riddick Bowe's chest and back in honor of his children, his wife Judy. And there's even a face of Riddick on there with a little caption that says Big Daddy. Begins. Lou Duva promised us that Golota would not be the standard straight-up Eastern European fighter, that we would see head movement and bending from the waist and a more fluid boxer-puncher style, and certainly Andrew's trying to affect that from the beginning. Lou takes his time, wants to get a good look at Golota before he begins to step it up with the jab.
Right, step back, step back.
Almost 500 pounds of heavyweight in there.
And the big question early, as Larry pointed out, Can Andrew Golota take Riddick Bowe's punch? Hasn't been in with anybody like this, so the first time Bowe unloads a right cross, we'll try to get a look at how well Golota can handle it.
Riddick Bowe wants to keep this a nice boxing match. Get the other guy, make him an amateur. Now, Golota, he needs to rough it up, get dirty, and make it a free-for-all. That's the only way it can become a free-for-all.
Golota throws and lands the first right hand of the bout.
So far, it's been all left hands except for that one punch.
Bowe wildly misses with an overhand right. Golota has been matching Big Riddick, jab for jab.
But as long as it maintains a jab match, Riddick Bowe is going to stay in control because he has the more experience. If Golota gets in there and start making it rough, then Bowe is going to be out of his house.
Golota throwing more punches early. Golota delivers the first body punch, misses a right hand. Bowe now backs Golota up with a jab, and Golota misses over the top with a wild right. Bowe stepping inside and gets hit with a left hook for his trouble. Holyfield was able to land the left hook with stunning regularity against Bowe. Now Golota is just short with another right hand, but it caught a piece of Riddick's skull.
Bowe has started slowly in the past, but right now, Golota has dictated what's happened here in the first round. And Bowe may be surprised, Jim, that a guy is out jabbing him.
Now Bowe lands the left, but feints and holds back the right hand. Now a quick combination inside by Riddick. He seems to shed a little of the 8 months worth of ring rust, and Golota comes back with a combination of his own.
Riddick Bowe told him Golota to come on, and he didn't. He should have.
He hit it with a three-punch combination there, George.
Well, I don't think there's any reason off of that round for Golota to lose any confidence or feel as though he doesn't belong.
You're boxing beautiful, keep doing what you're doing. And don't get lazy on the inside, goddammit. When he comes inside and grabs you, you got to move your hands, bend your knees, move your hands.
Get in the shoulder, get on the inside, and you punch.
They may have ignored Golota before the fight. They can't ignore him after that round, but it's only one round.
The main voice in Golota's corner was Roger Bloodworth. Rest assured you'll hear more of Lou Duva as the bout goes on. 84-year-old Eddie Futch declined to wear a radio frequency microphone for us tonight, so what we get out of Bowe's corner is more on the catch-can level. In round one, Golota threw 24 more punches than Bowe. Now Bowe traps Golota in a corner, but the big man gets away.
Well, Golota, it's to his advantage if he keeps this thing all mixed up.
And now Wayne Kelly is warning Bowe about holding and hitting, and Golota took that overhand right and seemed to shrug it off.
It hurt him a little bit, I think, and it wasn't because it was fairly thrown either. It was behind the ear a little bit. Riddick Bowe keeps his left jab working. It's no contest. But if he gets out there slugging and roughing it up, Golota can win this fight and win it big.
Bowe lands a hard left hand inside. Good short left hook. Comes back with the right. Golota lands a left hook. And Golota matches punch for punch against Bowe. Golota going downstairs. Might have been a little below the waistline. Kelly's watching upstairs to see if Bowe holds and hits. Now Kelly comes back and tells Golota to keep him up.
Golota's doing a real good job of going to the body. Riddick Bowe has got a little flesh down there. He should take advantage of it. The fight may go 12 rounds. You get in your body punches to your advantage.
Both men landing inside before they step away and create distance again. Bowe reaching with the left jab. Golota certainly willing to jab with the big man so far.
Both been most successful with the taller fighters because He's never learned to throw that right hand straight. Always overhand right. He's the only fighter that never developed his skill to the fullest potential.
Good left hook by Bowe. Golota comes back with a series of body punches. Bowe's landed a couple of heavy shots in this round. And there's another one as he gets the left hook inside. Golota's dropping the right hand and creating opportunities for Bowe's left. But now here comes the Polish star again. Pretty fast pace in this second round. Crowd lights up as Golota lands a combo. Bowe's wobbled.
Boy, these are big guys laying some big stuff on each other.
The only thing that Riddick Bowe has been in these kind of fights before, Golota, this is new territory to get in and mix it up with guys who can be there for 2 or 3 rounds more doing the same.
He's proven he can take a punch, George, but you don't want to take too many of those.
Not at all.
How many would he take? And while you say Bowe has been in wars like this, he hasn't been in a war like this against a guy as big as Golota.
You can't get lazy on the inside. Shut up, Sam. You can't get lazy on the inside. You understand me? You have to fucking keep them hands up on the inside and keep punching with this bastard. He's sucking wind already. And when you step that jab in, you snap the jab in.
Andrew,
don't play with it.
We're watching it. Andrew, this guy's tired.
Early in this round, Bowe went to try to be a brawler after finding that his opponent could jab with him in the first round. And then later you saw what you're seeing there, that Golota took a left hand and came back and dished out some of his own.
Well, in the first round, Golota threw 69 punches. In the second round, he threw 77. So Golota is putting out a lot of work so far. Bowe stepped up his punch count in round 2 to 68. That was a very high work rate for both heavyweights in round 2. Now they go to the third of a scheduled 12.
This big guy, Golota, is a good athlete, and he is a tough customer.
I hadn't seen too many right hands as quick as Bowe's, and Riddick just landed a right cross. But again, Golota appears clear-headed as they go about their work in the first minute of round 2.
They must feel that Golota is dropping his left because of all of those big rights that Bowe is throwing.
I think he drops both the left and the right. What do you say, George?
I just see Riddick Bowe turn this into the kind of fight that he's needing not have to with his experience and left jab. It's all turning for Golota. It's all working for Golota because this is the fight he needed.
We used to say he was the best school big man we ever saw.
I never said that.
Oh, I did.
No,
and he has gone out of school in his last few fights.
He's never been able to throw a straight right hand, and because of that, he misses a lot of overhand loads.
Why would he slip into brawling with Golota? Is it impatience, George?
Well, he want to get a knockout. He feels that this guy is underrated. I mean, beneath him, he's underestimated him. Now he's going to have to fight it out for 12 rounds.
Well, if you had to guess right now, you think the fight might go the distance, huh, George?
It looks like it to me because Golota has landed good body punches early on to take some of the steam out of would-be heavy punches for Riddick Bowe in the latter round.
You wonder if Golota will remember to keep going to the body as the fight progresses. No question, there's an opportunity there for him if he can remember to keep doing it.
Riddick Bowe can use that left jab. It's no contest. But if he stands back and waits to mix it up, it's a fight.
Action slowing in round 3. Golota comes out of the clinch with a left hook. Bowe landing with a right and a left himself. Golota turns Bowe's head with a left hand. And when they're doing this, they're not standing at distance and boxing each other, which is what would be good for Bowe.
Golota is not able to continue round after round with that kind of experienced fighter.
Golota with a solid low blow. Wayne Kelly stops and warns him. No point deducted so far.
He said the next time he would take a point.
Yeah, that was the second warning for low blows, so the next time would make sense. Bowe missing with the left hook. Golota looks very calm in there as round 3 comes to a close. Certainly not overwhelmed by the occasion, At least not so far. Bowe slapping and trying to land a right. Golota blocked that one. And wrenched Bowe's head around with a left hook.
That was a right to the stomach, followed by a big left hook. Folks, we've got a fight. Okay? How you feel? Okay, all right.
Don't stand up in front of your man after you finish the combination.
Okay.
Go right back to the jab after you finish that combination.
And here's the Polish fighter coming back from a right hand with his own good right hand and a big left hand.
All right,
Did
second
you
down,
say
let's
he
go.
poleaxed him there, Jim? No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. But if you want to, Larry, have at it. Golota's punch-out foot dropped considerably in round 3. After throwing 70 punches around in the first 2, he was down to 49 in round 3. But Bowe was taking a bit of a rest, too. Round 4 begins.
Now, Bowe is going to fight it out with Golota, and he's got to keep fighting. He can't give him any breathing room and hope that he tries to pace himself.
So you no longer think that he has to jab with him?
Well, he's already deserted that tactic. Now he's going to have to fight it out with him. Fight it out every round, though.
So this is going to then come down to conditioning and stamina.
That's right, and Riddick Bowe has found out probably I'm a little tired. But I've been knocked down before. I got up. I can take it.
But a fascinating turn of events it might be if we get to those 11th and 12th rounds that the Bowe camp insisted on, and he's the one who's at a disadvantage because of conditioning.
A good straight right hand in that exchange by Golota.
Golota's already shown that he's in good shape.
And shown that he can fight a little bit too, right, George?
He is not backing down from Riddick Bowe, and who is a good puncher, good fighter. As a matter of fact, he's trying to take the initiative from time to time.
There's a right and a left inside by Golota. Bowe landed some heavy punches earlier in the round. Now it's Golota who is doing the damage.
And Bowe caught an awful lot of left hooks from Holyfield. And remember that Lou Nuba was Holyfield's co-trainer for many years, and he's looking to catch him with that left hook again.
Hard left, hard right. Bowe wobbles into the corner. Golota goes in to look and see how much more he can do. Bowe is unable to stop Andrew Golota's left hook. Golota just missed with a left that might have done some serious hurt. Bowe trying to jab his way out of a crisis here. And now the champion seems to have regained his legs.
Is Golota doing enough, George?
Golota just doesn't have enough confidence to know that he has this fight in control. If only he can now point his jab and be a little more accurate with his right hand, he can get himself a knockout.
He looks like he's breathing hard inside.
It takes a lot of confidence to put out that much punching power and continue to do it.
You saw Golota measure Bowe for the right hand and then missed it. Another low blow. This is a bad one. And Wayne Kelly is going to have to give Bowe a timeout. And there's the T for the timeout. There's a point deducted from each of the 3 scorecards. That point goes against Golota. This was a bad low blow foul.
You got 5 minutes.
And it's bad because he's virtually won the round with 19 seconds left in the round. And now it's going to be an even round.
Well, and it's terrible for Golota because he's been in control of the fight.
Get the point delay.
But it doesn't do Bowe much good either, I got to tell you.
There it is. George, can Bowe come back from that?
Well, Bowe never should have laid all the way down like that. You lay down like that and you give the other guy confidence that he never dreamed he would have had in this boxing match.
All right, quickly, let's turn to our official rules guru, Harold Letterman. What's up here, Harold? 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes, exactly. Riddick Bowe can take us up to 5 minutes to continue in this fight. If he doesn't continue after 5 minutes, he loses. He cannot win the fight on a foul. I think he'll take the full 5 minutes. Why shouldn't he?
Well, if I'm Eddie Futz, I'm yelling at him to take the full 5
Ready
minutes.
to go? Ready now.
Don't know what Riddick is thinking.
Andrew.
Wayne Kelly conferring with both fighters.
Time in.
And now Riddick's ready to go. He did not take the full 5. He didn't take anywhere close to it. So Bowe, perhaps not wanting to give Golota any more confidence, stepped back up after what appeared to me to be less than 3 minutes of his allotted 5.
Two things are happening in this fight. One, Golota is beating Bowe to the jab. And two, he has proven so far that he can handle the pressure. This is how Golota hurt Bowe within the rules, with those kind of punches. And that one especially, that wobbled Bowe. All the talk before the fight, George, about how slow Golota was. I don't see that. I've never seen that. I thought for a big man, he had reasonably fast hands. What do you think about his quickness with his hands?
Riddick Bowe is just not in shape. That's all there is to it. From the opening bell, this guy has not been in shape. He underestimated this fighter, and he's getting whipped.
He made it abundantly clear yesterday when he sat down in our meeting and wanted to talk about Tyson and Lewis and didn't much want to talk about this guy. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Jim, 2-1, 1 even, 38-37, Andrew Golota. Like Larry said, Golota had that 4th round won. He hit him low. He loses a point that becomes 9-9 instead of 10-9 Golota, and that kept it a little closer. But I want to tell you something. Andrew Golota was landing low blows in rounds 2, 3, and 4 constantly. And I'll tell you, I'm glad he lost the point. He deserves to lose a point. He's really whacking him low, but he's fighting a good fight.
Yep. You're
now, Larry mentioned about the hand speed of Golota. This guy's been in the camp with Lou Duva, the Holyfield type combination. His hands were always fast, as you mentioned. Fast hands, a lot faster than you would imagine.
And he came in here with the expressed intention of fighting what was the Holyfield fight plan against Bowe in their first fight. Box, stay at range, move from side to side. Well, obviously, that's not going to be Golota's style over 12 rounds. He's going to have to brawl, and he's getting it done.
And he's acting more like the experienced fighter. He gives Bowe his shoulders when they're in close. Doesn't give him a good shot.
Oh, he just landed a dynamite combination, left and right. Bowe handled this one, but Golota is the man who is landing the showy punches here.
Bowe is starting to go down below the belt a little bit too there.
Stopped punching, and Bowe's able to establish an initiative. Golota's punch count for round 4 was back up to 76. He's been the busier man. Bowe trying to come back from having been on the canvas after a low blow in round 4.
Well, one good thing Golota is doing inside by turning his shoulder is he's not allowing Bowe to throw that great uppercut inside that we've seen him do in the past, George.
He's giving him that shoulder every time side of it. Not open for that uppercut.
Saw Bowe make a half-hearted effort to the right uppercut. Golota rocks him back with a right hand. Bowe steps up against the ropes. Golota rocks him again with the right hand. And a left. And another left up top. And the crowd is oohing and eyeing at the work that's being done on Riddick Bowe by Andrew Golota. 2 months ago, Lennox Lewis came in here with a big showcase against Ray Mercer and barely escaped with a decision. Right now, Bowe's in pretty much the same position that Lewis found himself in through most of that fight.
A big round for Golota.
feeling
Look
the
at
inside.
that percentage for Galata, and it's been that way throughout the fight.
And remember what we pointed out before the fight, how many punches Riddick Bowe catches. And here you can see more of the same. The Polish fighter is maintaining his poise. He's not overextending himself. He's staying in good punching position. He looks like a pro right now. And through 5 rounds, Golota has landed 45% of his jabs to Bowe's 21%.
Galata is throwing more jabs and landing more, as well as doing more damage with power punches. So far, it's been his fight.
I'm starting to think now about that 12 rounds.
I'm telling you, that decision could come back to haunt the Bowe people in a big way.
But he may need those extra rounds, Jim.
Well, they might have seen it as 2 extra chances to knock Galata out if Galata tires in the middle portion of the fight, as they expect him to do. So we'll be watching Galata's punch count to see if it goes down after round 6. And here we are in the 6th stanza right here. All right, what does Bowe do now, George?
Well, you know, Galata was really smart in the first couple of rounds. He went down to the body to ensure himself if this fight goes beyond in the latter rounds, Bowe will not have the power. Now, Bowe is trying to get a knockout. He shouldn't do that. He can still pull it out on points and be a little cautious.
Has to go back to basics, and right now he is.
Bowe trying to reestablish his jab here in the 6th. Once again, they get in close, and Bowe not able to launch those uppercuts, which have so defined the best of Riddick Bowe in his 3 battles with Holyfield.
The problem has been Bowe has not quite measured the distance when he moved away from Galata's left jab. He thinks he's out of the way, but Galata catches him anyway.
Well,
that extra reach.
It's that extra reach, isn't it? And Bowe's not accustomed to being in with a guy who's got a big
That extra reach has paid off good dividends for Galata.
This Galata is no stiff in there. He's an athlete.
I thought that Bowe might have been wobbled a little bit by that left hook.
He was.
Riddick's punch count goes down as we get past the midpoint of the round. Crowd tried to lift Riddick with a chant of "Let's go, Bowe." Galata has taken a little bit of a rest in this round, but still giving a good account of himself, punch by punch as he goes along.
And Bowe seems to take one step out of the way. He should take his feet along with him. Otherwise, his body is right there for this Galata to hit him.
Galata lands another left hook inside. Bowe tries to come over the top with the right and misses. Galata goes back to the body. He's done too little of that in this round. Galata starting to fall in love with his ability to hammer Bowe up top, and now another low blow. And let's see if Wayne Kelly takes another point. And he does. That's the 2nd point deducted from the scorecards against Galata.
Is that clear? Don't do it again. Time.
So now Bowe with his 2nd time out of the fight due to low blows. And Galata has lost a 2nd point. And Harold, what comes next?
Jim, the thing that comes next, without question, is a disqualification. I mean, I don't know how much of this Wayne Kelly's going to put up with. Andrew Golota has been whacking him low the entire fight. He's taken 2 points. I don't think he'll take 3. I think if Andrew Golota hits him low again, flagrantly, Wayne Kelly throws him out.
And you have to assume that that's what Kelly was telling Galata moments ago in that neutral corner. Here's the low blow.
You know, it's obviously not deliberate, but that doesn't make any difference.
All right, once again, Riddick's got 5 minutes. Should he take the whole 5, George?
You know, I wouldn't give this guy any extra courage. Hey, you hurt, hit me below the belt, the Peter Rabbit punch, go right back and fight back, quick.
Left hook by Galata reestablishes his authority as soon as they go back together, and we've reached the midpoint of the fight.
But I'll tell you, Riddick Bowe is taking a beating, whether it's legal or illegal, one way or another. He's getting hit a lot of punches from his knees to his head.
You gotta walk, you gotta move your head when you're inside. You gotta move your head because you're standing right in front of it and all you got to do is punch, okay? Okay, Bowe?
Gotta fix his tape, both tapes. Somebody gotta take care of the tape. Riddick's punch here. It's coming off. No, come on, gotta do better than that.
Wait about him low.
Riddick, you worry about the fighting. I took 2 points off it, okay? All right? Well, just you take care of your business, all right?
It almost sounded there like Riddick Bowe was looking for a disqualification.
Seconds out. I'm stuck.
A stunned crowd here at Madison Square Garden.
They are near silence as the 7th round begins. Obviously, it's a heavily pro-Bowe crowd, and now Golota goes to a neutral corner as Kelly once again gives Bowe timeout. Time in this time, beginning of the 7th round.
Riddick said to us the other day, why do I have to train so hard to fight a bum? He's finding out right now.
Not only that, he's finding out how it feels to be hit below the belt. He's done a lot of that in his career.
That's right. This is not exactly the world's cleanest fighter in there getting hit below the belt. He's had his own fouls. Bowe tentatively trying to establish something. Golota just keeps beating him to the punch. Now Bowe goes back to the jab, but he's tasted so many power punches, George. He's not aggressive enough to step in there hard anymore.
And he can't seem to take one of Golota's double jabs. As soon as he double jabs it, Bowe stands still.
Golota right on the belt line with that right hand, and Kelly was watching all the way. There's a left right on the belt line. Golota's going to have to be careful about this stuff. Bowe landed an uppercut, finally.
1 point.
Is he taking a 3rd point for low blows? That is the 3rd time that he's deducted a point for low blows. So
I've never seen that
I haven't either.
before, and we're only in the 7th round.
And now he's going to talk to Bowe about holding and hitting.
And that was the 2nd time in the fight that Bowe did that.
Come on.
Now the tape is coming loose on Golota's gloves.
There was another one of those body punches right on the belt line. Golota is flirting with disqualification here in a fight that he seems to be winning big against the guy called by many the best heavyweight active in the division. Giant right hand over the top by Golota again.
All because Riddick Bowe is standing still, underestimating the reach, not miscalculating how long this guy's arms are.
I heard him in Bowe's corner saying you can't stand right in front of him, but he keeps standing right in front of him, and he keeps paying the price. And Golota loaded a right hand up there and looked for a one-punch knockout and just missed.
Whenever Golota throws the combination, the things go good for him.
He's just hammering Bowe in close. Just hammering him. That was another low blow. Down goes Bowe, and that's it.
That's it. Great.
It's a disqualification.
It's time to someone that understands that you're going to have to keep the rules in this business.
And now there's a fight in the ring that's been started by some of Bowe's handlers who went after Lou Duva, and somebody's going to get hurt in there. Somebody's going to get hurt. And there are more people trying to go in. And
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They'll stop it. Don't. Get back. Go back where you'll see the talk. Get on back.
My microphone got knocked off my head.
Don't do it, son. Don't do
There's
that.
There's danger all over the place here. This is a very desperate situation. Lou Duva's in trouble. Lou Duva's in trouble on the ring mat. Duva's down and hurt. They're lifting Duva out of the ring.
They're going to cool it out.
Duva trying to help his dad out. This is just an awful-looking situation in there.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Wait a minute. It'll be okay.
George Foreman trying to be the peacemaker. What are you doing? What are you doing, guys? What are you going to accomplish in there?
Look.
Now the fight has spread off the ring mat. George Foreman doing his best to stop it. 2 more guys going into the ring.
Well, where is he, though? I can do. What do you want me to do? Things are beginning to quiet down now. I'm under the impression that a lot of Bowe's friends or would-be friends may have stormed the ring in protest over those low blows, the blows that may indeed have saved the fight. And now poor Bowe, and now the riot in the ring flares up again. Meanwhile, we're all wondering where Lou Duva is and how he is.
His wife is right there on that ring with her children.
Well, I don't know what you're seeing on camera because I don't have a monitor. But I can say that in 21 years of reporting as a sports reporter and a news anchor, I've never been involved in a more personally terrifying situation than that one. This ring has been stormed by thugs and hooligans. Obviously, emotions were flowing high on both sides. We're very concerned about the status of Lou Duva, who appeared to be in extremely dire physical straits. He was taken away on a stretcher. In fact, Duva's being taken out on a gurney right now, and we hope that they can get it through the crowd. And it appears to us that Lou is moving his head. Yes, in fact, he's lifting his head up off the gurney, so he's obviously conscious. That's a very good sign. If you follow boxing, you know that Lou has had coronary difficulties within the past year. It's of extreme importance to his life that they get him out of there. We're told that police are being knocked down at ringside, and that police have been thrown out of the ring by some of the thugs who are in there conducting this ongoing riot. It happened right in front of us on our side of the ring, and it appeared to begin when somebody raced across the ring from Bowe's corner area into the Golota corner area, apparently for the purpose of attacking Golota after the last low blow and the disqualification. And now the riot has spread to the far side of the ring, and I see some people who are jumping on top of people at ringside and beating people with chairs. Larry, what do you see down there?
Well, I don't see anything except a lot of energy, bodies being thrown around, people watching, trying to see what's, who these last of the hooligans are who insist on imposing themselves on what is supposed to be organized mayhem. We have disorganized mayhem in the ring at this moment.
Yeah. Well, this kind of scene took place after the first Bowe Holyfield fight as well. And maybe it's just a coincidence that the same fighter was involved, but it's a black mark on the sport. This has been an extremely ugly scene so far, and it continues at ringside, where now the riot has moved down to floor level. Now, we're told that Riddick Bowe is still a part of that crowd down there, and they're trying to escort Bowe to the locker room, and they've gotten him into the tunnel area. There's a melee of people surrounding Riddick, and now he's into the tunnel area and out of harm's way. Where's Golota? Does anybody know where Golota is?
I can't see Golota at all. I don't, basically I'm standing here and watching like everybody else and seeing about 10% of what really is going on. I find myself wondering what Riddick Bowe was doing down in there. Golota was smart enough to get out of here, although I assume he was the target of some of these angry Bowe fans. But they ought to be, I don't know, thankful for what happened, because Bowe looked like he was on his way
George Foreman
to losing the fight, to losing his stature and status in prize fighting up until the time that Golota just couldn't control that left hand, George.
And I think it was really an accident. he's fighting a taller guy. He's not accustomed to it. His waist is wet real high. It wasn't intentional. He's winning the fight. There are a lot of people upset about the way that thing went.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry they have to show off like this.
Well, I'll tell you.
Duba's a nice man. He shouldn't have to.
Hey, George.
Yes.
I want to thank you for helping to keep us safe. Obviously, our viewers didn't see it, but George Foreman protected Larry Merchant and me from a lot of harm there at ringside. He kept at least 2 or 3 guys out of the ring by himself, and I pin a big Medal of Honor on George tonight. He did a big service for Larry and me and the rest around us at ringside, and for a lot of people who were over on our side of the ring. Thank you, George, for your forceful and honorable presence tonight.
The only thing I know that may have been comparable, but in a different situation, and it's flaring up again now behind us. Another riot. Guys jumping over
chairs. These riots and fights are breaking out at ringside with no police in sight. Impossible to imagine what's going to be done to restore order here, but right now there are no police in sight as young men of all descriptions go hard against each other at ringside. Well, in case you've just joined us, you're looking at the aftermath of an explosive and all too unfortunately explosive event.
Jim, I'm with Roger Bloodworth, who is the trainer of Andrew Golota. Roger, how did this start?
You know, I think it started with an unintentional low blow. Andrew has a habit of looping his punches, and Bo kept pulling his head down. He hit Andrew behind the head 3 or 4 times, hit him a couple times low. It was only one time. I think they got scared.
But your fighter clearly was in the wrong for landing so many low blows. Don't you agree?
Bo was in the wrong, too, for landing behind the head and landing low blows. I'm not going to argue who started it. I'm not saying it's right. It happened. But this is a disgrace.
What happened with Lou? Was he hit or was it his heart?
Hit, but he grabbed his chest. In one round, he did. In the second round, and I told him, you know, not to come up anymore because I didn't know whether it was his heart or if somebody had thrown something or what it was. But I didn't want him up in the ring anymore because I didn't want him to get hurt.
All right. Other than this, what do you think of Golota's performance? What was he doing in there that frustrated?
Well, I think he was hitting him. You know, he has a good jab. He's got good power. He clearly rocked Bo 2 or 3 times, had him going. And I think everything he was doing was frustrating him. I think that's why Bo, you know, I'm not saying he didn't get hit low, but I think he put on a little bit of an act. He could have got up.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, there's a part of the scene at ringside, and we'll do the best we can to sum up this calamitous occasion. Once again, Andrew Golota is disqualified. Riddick Bowe emerges without accepting the loss that he might have been headed toward had this fight not been marred by low blows. We'll be back to try to collect ourselves and see what's going on here. But first, let's look ahead to some upcoming programming here on HBO.
Jesse Parrish had fallen on hard times, but then a stroke of luck changed everything, and he never looked back. Now, good fortune has gone bad, and he's about to discover there's no such thing as easy money. HBO Pictures presents Eric Stoltz, Don't Look Back. Premieres Saturday night at 9, only on HBO. It's the biggest music event in the kingdom. And it's coming to HBO. Eric Clapton. The Who highlights from Quadrophenia. Bob Dylan. Alanis Morissette. The MasterCard Masters of Music concert with a Prince's Trust. Sunday night at 8. Only on HBO. Smashing.
I'm Bryant Gumbel. Next up on Real Sports.
In an all-Olympic special edition, we take a real hard look at the man who runs it.
He'd rather have corrupt people under him than honest people.
The corporations that buy it. the muscles that move it,
Physically speaking, Mark Henry is the strongest man in the world.
and the glory beyond it.
Everything today is marketing.
The Emmy-winning Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel premieres Monday night at 10 on HBO.
Real sports. Nothing is out of bounds.
Be seen as we welcome you back to what has to be seen as one of the most bizarre occasions in more than 2 decades of boxing coverage here on HBO. Apparently fireworks going on behind me. Many more of New York's finest have been rushed in off the streets of New York to try to bring order and control here in Madison Square Garden. Just to recap, through a long and eventful day, the possibility existed for several hours that this fight between Riddick Bowe and Andrew Golota might not take place because of a discrepancy, at least a discrepancy as Golota and his people saw it in the contract, which ultimately required him to fight 12 rounds instead of the 10 rounds that he believed he had agreed to fight. The situation was resolved, apparently, when $50,000 more were pushed Golota's way. So he came in tonight with those extra 50 grand in his jeans after a long day of stress to enter this big occasion in which he was given virtually no chance to beat Riddick Bowe. And yet, through the first 6 rounds, Golota dominated the action in the fight. And that dominance was marred only by the fact that Golota was repeatedly penalized for low blows, justifiably and correctly penalized for landing several brutal low blows during the fight. Wayne Kelly had deducted 3 points from Golota for low blows, each one an entirely proper deduction, giving Golota as many chances as he possibly could to stay in the fight. Finally, in the 7th round, as Golota battered Bowe up top, landing lefts and rights with abandon, he once again went downstairs and landed yet another crushing low blow. And at that moment, again, quite properly in our view, referee Wayne Kelly stopped the fight, disqualified Golota, and awarded victory to Bowe. At that moment also, a riot broke out as some of the men from Bowe's corner moved across the ring toward a confrontation with Golota and the people around him. And we're going to take a look at how all that transpired. Here's a look now at the events that finished the fight. Again, Golota looking to land up top. There's a left below the belt. It was the latest in a series of repeated low blows. And you see Kelly disqualifying Golota. And at this moment, as our overhead camera trained on Riddick in distress, men moved across the ring and began the confrontation with Golota that ultimately led to the riot in the ring and at ringside. A series of skirmishes which still have not been entirely brought under control. Now you can see there the silver-haired Lou Duva, Golota's trainer. And as we mentioned, he's been subject to a series of coronary events within the course of the past couple of years. Duva went down. You heard Roger Bloodworth, the co-trainer, saying that he was concerned about Lou's heart. And since that time, Duva is the one identifiable figure that we have seen taken from Madison Square Garden on a gurney. George Foreman joining me now. Big man, you okay?
Yeah, I'm real good, but I'm sorry about what happened for the people at home. Golota, Bowe, they're really not totally responsible for what happened, but there was a lot of emotions out there, and it caused people to do a lot of things they're going to be sorry about tomorrow.
Was it the scariest situation you've ever seen at a prize fight, George?
I've seen these things happen before, and whenever you got fighters who are prone to hit behind the head and hit below the belt, it always causes situations like this. It just spreads throughout the whole crowd.
And you totally agreed with the disqualification at the moment that it came.
I really like the disqualification, but I'm certain that Golota could whip Bowe. No doubt about it. He could have whipped him. He was whipping him easily. And but it should have been a disqualification because that's what can happen if it continues.
Well, let's hope, off the potential that Golota showed tonight, that he can learn to fight without fouling, because there's something there.
He is a great fighter. He doesn't need that in his career at all. Riddick Bowe, he's got to go back to school, and I mean in a big way, about
Riddick Bowe's taken a lot of accumulated punishment, too. Is it too early in his career, George, for that to become a factor in his life?
It can become a factor tonight, as a matter of fact. I'd like to see him come down to my ranch and help me herd some cows for a change.
All right. Thanks very much, George. We appreciate, once again, protection you provided at ringside. All right. We're not going to be able to get any post-fight interviews in the locker rooms. We had hoped to do that, but for reasons that I'm sure you can understand, those interviews are not going to be available at this time. You'll have to wait until your morning papers to find out what parties on both sides had to say about the aftermath of this riot situation. Myself, I got a 16-year-old daughter in here somewhere, and I'm looking to be sure that she's safe. So right now, let's take you to a look at what's coming up immediately following tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing. Stay tuned now for Multiplicity, HBO First Look on the East Coast, followed by Serpent's Lair on the West Coast. Stay tuned for that on HBO. And now for George Foreman, Harold Letterman, and Larry Merchant, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Madison Square Garden in New York. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg. Tonight's telecast of World Championship Boxing was produced by Rick Bernstein and directed by Mark Payton. The feature producers were Brian McDonald and Kendall Bridges-Reed. Associate producers, Adam Berger and Steve Cohen. Assistants to the producer, Lisa Bennett and John Crystal. Ladies and gentlemen, these are live shots you're looking at. Unfortunate live coverage of the aftermath of the disqualification of Andrew Golota against Riddick Bowe tonight. Production manager John McCallie, technical supervisor Spike Jones, all the rest of these brave people working on our telecast and trying to bring you the best coverage we can bring you from an extremely troubling situation in Madison Square Garden tonight. Where are we, America? Why do we have so much trouble handling public events?